Hello and welcome to Bandy, a podcast about being flexible and all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your therapeutic medicinal hosts. Joining me as always is our other therapeutic and medicinal host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. What medicinal hosting are we doing
I
today?
don't know. Like, I don't even know if those are the ones I used last time. I just like them. I also thought it just amused me to describe us as medicinal. So, there we go.
We're like, take your Beth and Andy medicine,
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's good for you. It heals all your ills.
I know it cures mine.
Yeah, me too. Me too,
Okay,
truly.
that's good.
So, Beth, what's crack with you this week?
Um, we're all still sick.
Uh,
I'm like, how do I build an immune system from
hmm
scratch? That's kind of what I feel like where we're at.
Yeah, it's
And
just
I
kind of
don't, it just
ripping you down to your core, and
I'm
yeah.
like ready to go to this kid's school and be like, I'm gonna sanitize everything. I've talked to them. I'm I'm not gonna say the M word that we
hmm
put on our faces, but like I'm
hmm
ready to like start putting the M word on my face just
hmm
like when I'm out in public because I cannot stop getting these sicknesses. So I'm annoyed.
Yeah,
That's how I am.
I understand that. I mean, because they're
Mhm.
it's so frustrating, and especially like, I mean, in my sort of, exciting bachelor lifestyle, if I get sick. I
Right.
don't have responsibilities really. I mean, I do, but like
Yeah.
nothing. You've got kids, which is, it's and having to be ill and also take care of your kids is a whole
Yeah.
other nightmare. Like,
Right. Well, and Mike's gone
of
for
course,
another
yeah, that's
like
true.
I've started actually like normally I'm like it's not a big deal. Like we're having fun. It's all fine.
Yeah,
But it's like I'm trying to show them a good time while keeping them healthy and I'm showing them a good time but I'm not keeping them healthy. So,
yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, you've got to find some like angles on this to make it work. So that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So we commandeered our friend's beach apartment down in La
Nice.
Jolla for the night,
Love
and
it. Oh
it
yeah.
was really nice. It's lovely. It's like he's literally right on the beach, so you can just like look out the window and see all the surfers and
Nice.
like the kids were playing in the ocean and it's every house is at least $12 million. I
Of
won't even
course.
tell you what he pays in rent. It's
Oh,
ludicrous.
upsetting, I'll bet.
Yeah, so but he was like, I've got this place. I'm gonna be gone for 6 weeks. Like, please use it as much as you want. So guess
Nice.
what we're doing next weekend?
Hell yeah. Why not?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. Okay, I love it.
so how are you?
Yeah, hanging in there. I'm on like
Yeah.
money saving mode at the minute, so I'm like not doing very much, unfortunately. So like not a ton to report. I have become completely obsessed with a video game. Whoa, Andy, have you become
Andy,
obsessed with a
what?
video game? Surprise, surprise. So that's been taking up a lot of my time, like to the extent that I was having a conversation with somebody about a completely different subject. And instead of the words I meant to say, I said the word of the video game. So it was kind of it's a problem, but it's a
Are
problem
you
I don't want to
remembering?
quit.
It's fine. Are you like feeding yourself and showering?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Then
doing,
that's good.
I'm doing
You're
my
good.
work such as it is as well. So I am holding it together. But yeah, it's been nice, but it's nice to have that distraction. I think I've said to you before, there's something about video games that I find therapeutic or meditational for me, in that
Yeah.
they completely absorb me, and I can, or in the ones that particularly click with me, I can like spend a couple of hours in them, and I'm like, all my troubles are a million miles away, so it's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm thinking, you know what I'm always doing like at least two things simultaneously.
Hmm
Like I'll have a show on, but I'll also be like working on the podcast or
Yeah.
like that's not work. I'll be playing with the podcast or like, looking up celebrity gossip or whatever.
hmm
But like I never am engrossed in something to the point where I forget what I'm doing.
mm.
And like I'm also always being interrupted like every 30 seconds.
Well, that's true. So
Like, I need to give you 7 kisses. And I'm like, how do you say no to that? Like,
well,
seven
exactly.
kisses for good dreams, mama. And I'm like,
Okay,
okay,
of
you're
course they're
so
going to take seven
cute.
kisses.
God
Yes.
damn it, fine. So I wonder like what my life would be like if I was able to just like have one thing.
Yeah,
And like, I'm jealous, I guess. What
I
game is
think
it?
the game is Helldivers 2, and
Okay.
it is an online cooperative game, which I kind of my favorite type. I like competitive stuff, but I also hate competitive stuff because it it's the only thing in my life that I actually feel quite competitive in. It's sort of these sort of competitive head-to-head online shooters or whatever. Um, and oftentimes with those games, I play them for a bit, and I'm like, I have to walk away from this because it's making me ill. It's making me very unhappy. It's not worth it. I'm not getting
Uh-huh.
fun out of this. So co-op stuff is great because you're working with other people towards a shared goal, and I really kind of like that aspect of it. So, and it's also really good humored. I mean, it's very much it's lifted a lot of its way of thinking from like Starship Troopers, and like Starship
Oh my God,
Troopers,
I love, yeah.
amazing. So like there, it's very
What
satirical,
is,
like
what is it? To
basic.
learn more, click.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Do you
Mhm.
want to know
If you'd like to
more?
learn
Click here.
more.
Yeah, I watched it recently.
Uh,
Actually, it was great.
uh,
Still holds up. And this is very much the same. Like basically, it's all about you're fighting these alien bugs on a different planet to spread managed democracy. And it's very it's it's I because you're fighting these fascist bugs, so you can give them
right.
these. It's great. It's really good. So I'm really enjoying it.
So,
And
so wait. So you want to take over the planet or you want the bugs to vote
The
Democrat?
yeah, no, you want to give them to figurehead bug leaders. That is essentially the same choice. But you want to really push them towards one of the bug leaders who's your guy. Um, so that I think, I mean, like I presume that's the end goal. That's the head canon
I feel
I
like we could
have.
write I feel like we could write a video game.
Oh, definitely.
Sorry.
So,
The bugs need to have the right to choose what they to vote
but it would be like
for the leader that we want them to vote for.
yeah, very much so. So it's like
Where are they getting their material?
obviously, this is I know. Can you imagine?
Right.
Like, obviously, it would be, this is a bad example, obviously, because this is very legit and above board. But the recent Russian election, which is, which he won fair and square, I'm sure.
Right. I know.
So just as an example, there's so many things that we could draw
I'm glad you
on.
like it. So good. Cooperative.
Yes,
Cooperative.
so cooperative. So it's good. It's fun and
Um,
it's engrossing in a way that I love. And yeah, but
I'm really glad I made fun of it for you.
it can take it, right? That's the best thing
I
about it. It
know.
can take
I
it
know.
can take the abuse because it's built into it. It's great.
That's good. I have no occurrence
Hmm.
to report
Whoa. Okay. Do I have
other
any?
than other than people are liking us on YouTube.
Good. Keep doing
So
it. Keep liking
check out
us.
our videos.
Keep
Yeah.
subscribing. I've been spreading the word a wee bit more as well, just on
Thank you.
because like I have a. Do you know what as you probably do? You're pretty old enough to remember what a forum is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm still in a forum from 25 years ago. I
Whoa.
think it's got to be close to about 25 years I've been on that. And like, you still talk to a lot of people and they're like, what is it? And you're like, it's kind of like Facebook, I guess, but not really.
Yeah, it's like Reddit, Facebook-y kind of,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
where like
well,
you would like people would like blog and you'd all like read each other's blogs and like or there would be like a topic
yeah.
and they're like
Yes.
and that's what yeah. So you know these people you've known these people for like
I
25
have.
years?
I've met a few of them. Like, it's actually led to the
Yeah.
kind of
There's a
fun.
lot of what is it, IRL in real
Yeah.
life, like meetups that have happened. Like I'm trying to remember what like in America in like the 90s and early 2000s, what
It's
it
like
was.
MySpacey, but like you was also like message boards as well, I think is the more
Mm,
modern sort of term for it, but they weren't quite the same, I don't think. But like I have truly met some real genuine like real life friends from it. Whenever I was in Australia, a guy who I had only like, conversed with a couple of times online. I knew he was in Sydney. We met and he like let me stay in his house for like his apartment for like a month for free. And it was incredible. And I've still, I still consider him a friend, and his girlfriend, like they were both great. And
that's wonderful. And
yeah,
you
really
stole
nice.
you stole all of his ashtrays, and he's
Yeah, I
like, "Where did
did.
they
Yeah,
go?"
what I did at the end of that trip. So because like
But
they had a cat. Who I had a really like nice relationship with. The cat got on so well with me, and I took a photograph of me and the cat. I framed it, and I gave them a framed photo of me and their own cat.
I don't think that's funny at all. I still have all of the photos of you and the cat in Costa Rica.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember? And
Mm,
I was like, cats love me. This cat will love me. I will
hmm
like this cat will be like on my lap the whole time. And then it turned into like
my butt.
you and me and the
Hmm
cat in a love
hmm
triangle. And I was
True.
so I'm still still so I found one the other day because I was working on podcast stuff, but it was like you and you had the cat in your lap and you were looking at me like,
Teary
haha.
eyed.
So I'm not surprised you gave them a great photo of you and your
It really made me laugh a lot. Like it's one of these things that like I find funny, and I just hope other people will. So but they enjoyed it, I
Mhm.
think. I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. No, I think the reason.
Ask for a photo. Just be like,
Yeah,
is
I
there
will.
proof it's still up?
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, because I know they split up now, and I think I know which one of them has it. So I'm gonna check with her.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but I yeah, sorry. So I brought that up just because I spread the word on the forum and things like that. So I think and I'm really getting loads of feedback from people who I kind of did not expect to listen to it, or like really up to date, and it's really nice. So
Yeah,
lovely.
we
Um,
definitely have like people that like right away when the new episode drops. People are I'm it's I don't know why I'm surprised. I think it's like my imposter syndrome
yeah, I hear you.
where I'm just like, really? People want to listen to us? Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with them?
Yeah. That is very much a topic I want to get into today, actually. This is like,
Okay.
wait a minute, you like me? What's your
Uh-huh.
problem?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh,
You
right.
wanna do you wanna okay, so do you want to announce our topic
Oh
that's
no,
already
no, sorry. I
written?
have one
Oh,
more
okay.
what's the
Oh,
current
okay.
thing to do.
Oh, fun. Exciting.
I just checked my thing. I'm not unsure because the sound quality was fine, but there is a possibility after, the way I've had ongoing like mic problems, which was facing the wrong way. There's a
Yes.
possibility for a few weeks I was recording from my camera mic, which is tiny and shit, rather than this. I
Okay.
don't think so because the sound quality was decent, but I checked Audacity recently and it was just like, yes, it's your the mic in your camera, and I'm like, oh no, Andrew, what have you done?
Do you call yourself Andrew when you're mad at yourself?
Yeah, whenever I've been bad, I'm Andrew.
Huh.
Andrew, what have you done? Etc. Etc. But that's it. That's it for what's occurring for me this week.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so let's get
Well,
into
good luck with that. Well, it's
thanks.
time. It's
It's
time.
time. Do you want to read? Do you want to?
Well, yeah, it's time for Beth and Andy's quarterly mental health review.
Yep. Ching.
Ching!
It's like you
Time.
you just got the message into your inbox. It's a mandatory meeting.
That's
You're gonna have to hear your bosses talk about their mental health for 2 hours.
right.
The doors
Wouldn't that
will
be
be.
interesting though?
Yeah, it
I've
would
had
be
some
interesting.
really bosses that I really would love to know, like, what is happening in your life right
Oh
now?
yeah.
Hmm.
But like most of the time, not even they want to know what's happening in their lives. Right now, it's like
Yeah.
there's a subreddit that's like called LinkedIn Lunatics, and it's just people on LinkedIn like posting like insane shit, like a calculation of if you were to work every weekend of the year, how many more working hours that would get you in the year. And it's like, what are you avoiding, dude? Like, what's going on in your life?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Aye, but
Yeah.
anyway, but yes.
Workaholics, man. They're really
Oh,
good at avoiding.
oh yeah, they're the best. Yeah. So. We talked about this, so we just talked about this because we, as we have talked about in the past, mental health is something that's close to both our hearts, something we think people should talk about more, and it is. So, and one of the early episodes of our podcast was about that, and we thought it would be nice to kind of touch on that every now and again, see how we're doing on our journey with that, and getting feedback from people to see how they're doing as well.
Yeah. And I would also say that we talk about this like when we log on
Yeah,
to chat, we're like, okay, like we do check-ins with each other every week.
yeah.
So, but
This
I
is
think it's just like, how much can you say in 5 minutes when we
true.
could give ourselves a whole hour?
I know. And subject, no, for your entertainment as well.
Well, yeah, you're not like life is hard,
It
and
is.
we're all just doing the best we can, and it's okay to talk about um
Yeah,
how sometimes it can be a shit sandwich.
yeah. And I think that by and large, my opinion on so much stuff is that it's not your fault. You're doing your best.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
deck is stacked against all of us. I mean, even if you're in a privileged position, it's rough out there, you know.
Yes.
But just look out for people. That's all that matters. But that sounds more like an end of an episode thing. Um, so instead, we will get started. Just talking about. Do you want to just talk a little bit about where you're at the minute, or do you want me to start, or what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote down a few things,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like as of right now in this moment kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. I didn't really think so much like how was I feeling in episode 7 or
Yes.
whatever. So, um I'm like I'm keeping my head above water. Um I did just find out that a friend of the family passed away,
Oh no.
and my mom didn't tell me for 8 months.
Wow. So
Uh-huh.
there's a couple of levels to that then.
There's some levels.
Mm.
And I get it, like because I've got long COVID, like my family tries to protect me from things because they don't want um my system to be affected, which sometimes happens.
Okay.
But also um I don't want to dive too much into my family dynamics,
Sure.
but there's some stuff there, obviously,
Yeah.
to not share that information.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's happening. I'm pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I know this is gonna happen as I get older, but I already feel like I've dealt with more death than the average person my age.
Mm.
And my mom was talking to me the other day, and she was talking about how, this is just kind of like you just get almost desensitized to the fact that people are just like dying around you all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, it's like, does that really happen?
Yeah, that
Is
really
that something
sucks.
is it something I get to look forward to even more, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't handle death well, and we don't, as like in our culture, uh in the United States of America, like we're not really good about dealing with death or talking about death,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
But it's
so
become
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's become so taboo in a way, and like there's so much talk about more, there's more talk, I think, about, how do you extend your life? Do you know what I mean? It's everything to avoid that. I think it takes us back to what just an episode we did a few weeks ago, that Memento Mori thing where, the
Hmm.
remember death thing, which is probably healthier, I mean, like it's fucked up in its own way, but like it's good to like be conscious of it, but like
Hmm.
there's so much avoidance of it, and I'm such a advocate of um the kind of celebration of life rather than the kind of somber misery of a funeral. Like, and I mean, like, I think I'd say American funerals, not across the board, but like generally speaking, are that somber sort of affair, and
Hmm.
they're awful. They're so awful.
Hmm. Hmm.
I always like the idea of the sort of like the New Orleans style one where they have like, a
The
band
band
and
and
everything.
everyone's rocking out down the street.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. That's such a
yeah,
wonderful way. And like, that I yeah, but I mean that's a whole other thing.
yeah.
But yeah, it's tough one. It's a tough one to kind of get your head around.
Mm-hmm. And then my mom's birthday is tomorrow, and she doesn't have anybody to have dinner with.
Hmm.
And I live, you know,
But yeah, so far away.
thousands of miles away now. And so I've got some guilt around not being there, even though it's better for me to live where I live now for a whole host of reasons. So like I just kind of have like that underlying ribbon of guilt all the time
Hmm.
about that. Um, and I'm not sleeping, which
Yeah,
always impacts me. And I'm still trying to get better from the pneumonia. And now I'm like, is this just another, like, am I in a long COVID relapse, basically, which is
yeah,
confusing
that's
and
scary.
scary. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so I'm there. That's where I'm at. I'm just
Yeah.
treading water.
Yeah, I hear you. I think like I am not too dissimilar. I mean, it's hard to know from day to day a lot of the time as well. And like we had talked about this beforehand. So like I'm currently in the midst of well, it's been an ongoing process for years now, but like I'm trying to figure out I maybe not figure out, I think I've talked about this before, get a bit more clarity on whatever's going on with me. Because like, my moods can really take insane drops and just out of nowhere. Sometimes I can, if I really think about it, I can pinpoint something, and it's frustrating. So where I'm at right now in that regard is I'm in a conversation with my doctor about um different medications because I went for like a mental health review last year, and the NHS were just basically like, why don't you try CBT? Which was kind of frustrating, but it's not surprising because our health service is under such strain these days, especially for mental health stuff. Um, but and then it was like,
Why
hmm?
for your American audience, why why are there no mental health services, or why are they being stretched?
It's generally our sort of health system, certainly since yeah, well, I'll get into this way, but basically since COVID, like they were taking a ham before that, like for a long time that it's been underfunded, um and as a result, a lot of doctors are leaving the services. They struggle to have like nurses and things like that.
Yeah.
In past few years, there's been a lot of strikes with doctors and nurses because their pay hasn't been kept up with the rate of inflation, which is ridiculous that they are being put into that situation. But like, there is a general attitude from certain segments of the UK about funding, public health funding. As you know yourself in America, it's a hot button topic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, it's the benefits of like at least a certain amount of public health so massively outweigh the negatives that it's, I don't know, it's ridiculous to me.
Mhm.
But so we've been under this. So there has been a kind of push to kind of like remove funding from the NHS, I think, to take us to a partially private model. It's never been vocalized, but I think speaking to people who work in the health service, they can kind of see that slide in that direction. So as a result, like I went to the NHS when I initially started struggling and was able to did a bit of CBT with them initially. This is when I hadn't really done anything, and I found it interesting. And then after that, the CBT, what are they called? Technician?
It's Yeah.
Practitioner?
So, and just for those who don't know, CBT
Oh,
is
sorry, apologies.
cognitive behavioral therapy,
Yeah,
and it's I don't remember what it is, and I have a
it's
certificate in it.
therapy for nerds.
Yeah, it's like
Wait,
it's like a lot of
joking.
thinking.
Yeah. I, like, I mean, it was therapy for nerds would be perfect for me. The way I look at it is it's almost like here is a mental toolkit, which I can see the appeal for
Yeah.
certain, and here's a way to think about your thought processes and to
Mhm.
usefully maybe take a step back and analyze them a little. And
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, I really picked up some useful stuff from that experience, but after a while, I kind of got what as much as I was going to get from it, and I was ready to like try other things.
You're like,
Uh,
how many times can I consciously observe myself
yeah, and I think
feeling like shit?
exactly. I think I've talked about this before. There was like a time, one of the last CBT guy I went to was just like setting me challenges. Was like, right, I just want you to. So here's what you have to do between now and next week. Just phone somebody, make a call to somebody, somebody you wouldn't ordinarily call. And I'm like, no, that sounds
No, what?
fucking horrible. I don't want to do that. I really don't. Like, I don't think if if I have an awkward
They'd
conversation
be
with
like,
some,
why are you calling
yeah.
me?
What's wrong? The first question would be, what's wrong? Because it's just like, was this is not the expected
Yeah,
behavior from you.
yeah.
So I
That
don't
no longer works in our cultures.
know. It doesn't. It seems like a very old-fashioned way of thinking generally, you know.
Yes, yes.
So that was no good. But even back then, 4 years ago, after like 6 months of CBT, I was there. An NHS therapist was willing to spend time with me. I did talk about this before because then I got a girlfriend and I was like, my problems are
Yeah,
solved.
yeah.
I don't have mental health issues
There's your
anymore.
problem.
Yeah, there is my problem. Well, one of my problems.
Yeah,
But now it's just a much bigger struggle because they are, there's a lot, like, I mean, certainly a lot of people are struggling, in every aspect. Mental health is poor. There's a lot of people I think there are like higher numbers of people with mental health issues in the UK. So the services which are already thin on the ground are strained even more, So I just wasn't able to get much help from them. In this case, I've been sent back to my GP, and he is essentially recommending just for now that we just try different antidepressants until we find one that works. And it's like it fucking sucks. It really sucks. It's like I feel like a guinea pig kind of at the minute. And I have recently had a couple of weeks that have been really bad. And I one of the things, and it's a dubious accolade, is that I am quite good. I am very good. One of my highest skills is I'm very good at hiding this.
yeah.
Um, I think only when I am in really bad shape is it quite obvious. Do I really kind of struggle to kind of hide it? Like in one of the recent weeks, I had a choir session and it was a really rough day, and I had to say something in front of the choir and I was not expecting it. Somebody else was like, "Look, we're going to say a little bit of something. Can you like introduce yourself?" And I'm like, "Oh
Oh,
no."
okay. Uh-huh.
And I just did. I just really kind of was like, eyes down, eyes at the ground, rattled off a few sentences, and next person, please, and it was not good. And like I think I had, somebody who had never talked to me about these things before, like reached out to me. It was just like, "Are you okay?" Because like and they kind of knew it was somebody who had been through this themselves, so they could see the signs.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, so it's frustrating that I what I think would be, I think I need to go back to talking therapy, but it's so expensive. And the question then becomes, do I take a full-time job so I can do that will smash up my mental health more to get, talking therapy support? I just don't know. So like I have another conversation with my doctor, my GP this week. I'll explain what GP is in a minute. Um, with my GP this week, and I'm just going to say to him, look, is there any way I can get like blood work done or something like that? Just I want to like eliminate things. I just need a bit more clarity because I don't
Hmm.
think I can go through the changing of the antidepressants as often as this. It's just really fucking me up.
Hmm.
Oh,
And
I, sorry, just before I continue, GP for anybody who doesn't know is general practitioner. It's a kind of doctor who kind of does low level stuff for everyone before you go
mhm.
on to specialists. Anyway,
Yes.
sorry.
So we call them PCPs, primary care provider.
Oh,
So, which that's a new term that I don't know
PCP,
if it,
yeah. I don't think
yes,
I've heard of.
PCP,
Uh-huh.
GP, LMT,
Hmm.
LMFT. So
LMFAO.
I have LMFAO. Thank you.
Sorry.
Levity. So I've been doing the antidepressant merry-go-round for about a year,
Hmm.
and Andy knows this, but for all you listeners, I ended up because my body's so fucked up,
Mm.
I'm really highly sensitive to certain things and not highly sensitive to others. Like I can take all the ambient in the world and still not sleep.
Yeah.
And think I'm actually taking anti-nausea medication morning
Oh,
and night
wow.
and not be affected. Oops. But I'm allergic to the vast majority of SSRIs,
Yeah.
and those are antidepressants here in the USA. So basically, there's a test that you can have done, and I paid $600 for this out of pocket
Hmm.
to find out which ones are like, you know, this is the red zone. You can't have these at all. This is you know, the yellow zone. You can probably get away with this maybe, but you might have some adverse reactions. And then there's the green zone. And then they take all of the different medications and they put those in the buckets based on my blood work.
Hmm.
So now I know like I really can't have these, or now I know, oh, I tried that one and like I couldn't pee. Turns
Whoa.
out, yeah. So like really like physiological
Yeah.
reactions to some of these. And like I was telling Andy, I tried one about a month ago and it made me want to drive my car into traffic. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, this isn't one for me. So it
No.
really, unfortunately, like, and they want you to like be on them for a couple weeks just to really kind of make sure that it takes a while to integrate in your system. But
Hmm.
you have to sort of make the call of like, all right, if I'm feeling this much worse than I was feeling 2 weeks ago, then it's probably not the right one. And then
Yeah.
you gotta, okay, let's try the next one. I think I've done 10 different ones and I've landed on one that seems to be doing,
Yeah.
okay for me and helping my sleep a little bit, but it's a bitch.
What's
It
the
is.
like? Because I haven't got a load of clarity on this. Like, is that the time frame they think? So about 2 weeks before you start seeing effects. Is that roughly what they're looking at? Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
for me, when it's not a good fit,
You know.
um,
Yeah.
I'm like a mess. Either I'm in bed asleep and I can't move, or like I have like I took one. I felt like I was on an alien on another planet, and like going to the pickup
Mm.
line, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna actually talk to other parents because I can't
Yeah.
form words right now. And it was,
Yeah.
so that was another one that I was like, this isn't gonna work. And they want you to take them in the morning because uh, they're supposed to give you energy throughout the day, make you feel good throughout the day. But for me, I need to take it, whatever it is, it's got to be at night so that like I don't have to feel gross or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard thing to find the one thing that works for you. The good news is
Hmm.
big pharma has lots of options.
Yay, Big
Yay, big
Pharma, our
pharma.
saviors.
I know, right? So I'm not like a proponent, and I'm not trying to tell people like get on medication, but
Yeah.
I am here to say that if you need and I've been in a place where I've been in places in my life where I've actually like needed help because my body, now I know, doesn't produce dopamine
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
at all. So I need a
It's
drug
wild.
to put that in there. And so I with you, like, and we've talked about this a little bit, but like, yes, get whatever blood work you can get, but like I think you should get your hormones checked.
Yeah.
I think, there for mood swings, there are things that, could be possible diagnosis and medications because I know you and I adore you and I do know when you're low because
Yeah.
you tell me.
It's true.
Um
That's fair, dude.
which is I'm so glad that like you're comfortable enough to talk to me about
Yeah.
it.
Me too.
Because we have the same struggles and
Yeah.
it's just like, and I don't know if I'm helpful or not, but
Yeah.
I'm just keep working the program, Andy.
I think no, and I think I know, and you know I will, and like I've fallen off the track. I've been close to being like fuck all this, and I do frequently. I'm like fuck all this. I don't want to do this anymore because it's a nightmare. but I am on track for the meantime, certainly anyway. I I think it's like and it's what I find, sorry, well, what I was going to say certainly about, us being able to talk about it, and is that I don't really want to talk about it with people who don't have mental health issues. And
Yeah,
that's not any of people's faults at all. It's just
yeah,
really hard to communicate this in a way that makes any sort of sense. It's like, and like sometimes, and like, I think, people mean well, and I really appreciate it, and I know it comes from a good place, but like it's like, sometimes it feels like somebody has like tackled you to the ground and is just like punching you in the head on the ground, and you've got somebody going, just why don't you just get up? Just get up and get on with something. You're like, do you see? You
mhm.
can't see, but that's kind of what's going on in my brain.
Have you
Uh,
just tried smiling? Have you just, you know what
as
that does? That actually has an effect on your, you're like, right, you're like, uh-huh.
as you're getting
I,
as your teeth are getting punched out, yeah.
and
Metaphorically.
I like thinking about it, like I tell Mike about how, like Mike, my therapist, my
Uh-huh.
psychologist, and you are
Hmm.
basically the people that know like how I'm feeling on any given day, like if
Yeah.
I'm struggling or not. That's pretty much it. And Claudia, my friend, I have a
Yeah.
couple girlfriends that I
Yes.
do talk to, but like my that circle for me is also very, very small.
Me too.
I don't share how like I'm doing this obviously on a podcast that we're putting out all over the
Yeah.
planet, but um to the people
But
closest to me, it's impossible
yeah, it is.
to talk about.
It is. And it's like even like,
You're trying to explain the unexplainable.
yes, you are. And even like I'm going through this with my GP at the minute, and he talks to me all the time, and he goes, I can tell you're self-aware, and you can see this, and I see, you're a good guy. I can tell you're a good guy, and and just seeing that whenever you're in those dark moments, and I'm just grit my teeth and smiling, and go, yeah, it's useful. Thank you. I appreciate you saying this, and I'm just like, fuck off, like my head is just like, just leave me alone. I get it. I understand this, and I get the theory and everything. I do, but like in practice, it's hard to apply. Not all the time. Sometimes that is effective, but a lot of the time it is very, very difficult to just go, you know what, Andy, you're all right. It really is. You ain't so bad, Andy, et cetera, et cetera.
You're like, damn it, Andrew.
Yeah, damn it, Andrew, get your shit together. The thing that like really kind of is, I find, especially dealing with medical professionals or like GPs, is like every time he talks to me, he's like, so are you having any suicidal thoughts recently? Are you going to kill yourself? And I'm like, probably not. And I mean, it's highly unlikely. It's like my answer is always like, I have a complicated relationship with suicidal thoughts, but I'm probably very unlikely to actually kill myself, but like I do think about it. Absolutely, I do. Um, but like I also am aware of, and I'm kind of scared of saying too much to my GP, and then like I don't know what can happen to you if you admit that is somebody going to take you away to somewhere? I don't want that. I don't think that would do
Mhm,
me any good. That kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm kind of guarded in terms of how much I revealed to him.
mhm. Because
Um,
he would take you away. You'd go
hmm
to some underground laboratory. They
okay.
would put metal in your body, and then you'd be Wolverine.
Oh no,
So
okay,
you
right, okay.
don't want that.
I'm gonna call my GP right now. Let me just give him a quick call on his private number.
No, no, but it is it is that does elevate things.
Yes.
Um, and I don't know what that I don't I've I've been in that place where, especially when I was like super, super, super sick and dying, and like,
Yeah.
why am I here, and why? And I have said, yes, I am having suicidal thoughts,
Hmm.
and I am not making plans, but I am, and this is even hard to talk about, but yet, yes, I am like, you know, envisioning like how I would go
Hmm.
about,
Hmm.
exiting this mortal coil. Um,
Yeah.
and it's like you can see the look on the doctor's faces,
Yeah.
and then I got lots of Valium.
Okay, now we're talking. If only
Like,
I could get Valium over here.
I know. Um, so, and that did help a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't put the dopamine where the dopamine didn't exist. So,
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Like a
yeah.
different sort of problem in that case. Why?
Yeah. So I just commend you for trying, trying new meds and trying because and being honest about this because
Yeah.
um if this is helping anyone listening,
Yeah.
that
That's
just
yeah.
keep going one step forward, one step forward,
Yeah.
get through the day, go to bed, get up the next day,
Uh,
talk to people that you trust.
yeah.
Don't talk to people that aren't going to help you, and don't offer the feedback that is helpful for you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and this is and also I mean, I think that's it. And I think that's why we want to talk about this stuff is because like I feel, and I'd say this is fairly typical, it can feel quite lonely and quite isolating. And it's always kind of in a kind of messed up way reassuring to hear other people who aren't maybe necessarily having the same problems, but having similar things or similar kind of feelings or attitudes, it just it can really help. And I think that's why we wanted to do this.
Yeah. So one of the things I was going to ask are like, what are my needs that aren't being met? And I
Uh-huh.
wrote down, I'm lonely, but I don't want to socialize.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. That really sums things up perfectly. It's like, yeah, I'm really lonely, but I don't want to talk to any of these bastards.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, uh,
Like that, like I'm lonely to the point of like little bit of boredom, right? Mike
yeah,
is gone. Normally he works from home and I have like a buddy. So I have time to myself. And so I'm like, what do I do with my time? And it's like I do jack off. I do
yeah.
jack shit. I like That's not true. I
But like,
mean,
no,
I'm
it's
being
not
hard on
true.
myself.
You do, and I think
Yeah.
like, but I think some people can find contentment with that. Whereas I feel like for you or me, we kind of beat ourselves up over that, or like taking
I
downtime and
like
stuff.
puttering. I
Yeah,
can't, if I'm not like actively like doing so, if I don't allow myself to putter and just
yeah.
like
I hear you. I can't do it.
myself. Mm-mm.
And it looks lovely. I remember like years ago on like a trip, like a camper van trip in Australia with a guy, and he pottered like no one's business. Like he could take a few hours just in the kitchen making, and like basically he would come out with a cup of tea, and it's like, how have you done that for an hour? I am genuinely envious, and he seemed like happy, chirpy guy, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's always I am kind of yeah, vaguely upset at those people, but I'm happy for them. I truly
Yeah,
am.
I am, but my list needs attention.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not going to fix itself or complete
No,
itself. No.
no.
The
So
sorry, go
go
on.
ahead. No, I have more
The
questions.
the other one was because I was just thinking about this today because I was teaching a yoga class and it's like confidence is such an interesting thing. And I think it's such an interesting thing when it comes into mental health because it's like I don't know that I have any real confidence at my core, but like I have confidence in ways that I see other people struggle with. Like I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm bad at, and I feel like certainly in this country, people really struggle to be like, oh, these are the things that these are my skills. They're trying to like downplay themselves or whatever. It's a very sort of Northern Irish, perhaps British thing. I don't honestly know, but
Just being super humble.
yeah, or not wanting to admit your strengths or whatever is seen as because you might be being seen as arrogant or something. I don't really know, but it's definitely something I see. But like I have the capacity to kind of go, oh, I'm good at these things, bad at those things. Not all the time, but I can get there. But like that sort of confidence in the moment, I really struggle with. Like yoga teaching in particular. So as I'm teaching yoga. I essentially have my eyes closed the whole time, right?
Really?
Yeah, because
You
if
and
I,
Bradley Cooper.
oh really?
He like he'll interview people with his eyes closed.
I
He's like,
love that.
yeah.
Like because I just find like if I make eye contact with somebody, it's immediately going to trigger something within me, like that sort of. inner voice that's like, you're fucking this up, is going to see that, see what it needs in that person's gaze, and just
So
get.
your confidence is attached to your visual, like to your visualization in life,
I think so. I think the vision, like the
like
seeing,
seeing other people and
yeah,
responding to something you're doing.
yes. I
That's
think that,
fascinating.
isn't it? So like,
Hmm.
because like it can just collapse on me. So it's why I just don't. And like, I mean, there are other reasons I do it, because I find, removing the visual stimulus really helps me focus on what I want to say, on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Procedure, not procedure. The sequence that I built. There we go.
Hmm.
Find that
Hmm.
word eventually. It allows me to like focus on what I need to get done. The cues that I want to give, like the sometimes scripted jokes that I put in there. I sometimes do things off the cuff, but I'm sometimes think, oh, what would be quite funny to say in this with this posture. Um, so like so it just kind of it just I because I feel kind of most of the time that sort of negative voice is with me all the time. Like it's in all social things, it's like right there. Whereas like I feel like some people, like I do this too, but I feel like a lot of people talk about, after the effect being, overanalyzing things and kind of, whereas I do it in the moment, which is hard to navigate at times, and it's why I think just like eye contact in general is one of my most terrifying things, because I feel like people are going to see how fragile and I am in those moments, and like how close to cracking I am all the time, but yeah,
That's
so that was just
very, that's so, I was watching, this has
uh,
nothing to do with you. All,
no,
so let's talk about Bradley
no, no,
Cooper.
no, no,
But
no.
I saw an interview with him and I think it was Emma Stone.
Hmm.
And he was interviewing her and he had his eyes closed and she was like, your eyes are closed. And he's like, yeah, like I find I think better.
Yeah,
I'm able to, like all the things you just mentioned. So I wonder if he actually has similar.
I think I'm similar. I've got a similar artistic bent to
Hmm. Hmm.
Bradley
You
Cooper.
and Bradley Cooper.
You know what I mean? Like we're two peas in a pod.
So you're
uh,
not alone, is I
I'm
guess
not
what I'm
alone. No,
saying. You're not
I,
alone.
like, but I mean, there's so much of that is just I find frustrating. My friend commented to me um recently about one of our episodes, was that one of the things he found most funny was me talking about an old job I had, and when I found out the boss, who was a fucking prick and who treated everybody terribly, when he was dead, that my reaction was like, okay. And I'm like, it's one of those things in particular that it's like, you must respect the dead. It's like, well, what if that person was a piece of shit? I don't want to. I mean, like, I don't wish that guy any ill will. I'm sure I'm sad for his family and the people that loved him that he died. But like, he was awful to people. Do you know what I mean? He was awful to me. I'm not gonna miss him. But yeah. So it's interesting noticing that sort of remove from things that you, and also
Hmm.
just that, how in me there's so many kind of fundamental things where I'm like, well, hold on a minute, why do we do that? Or that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is there a reason for this? Questions that I shouldn't ask, forbidden
Right, right,
questions,
right. Foreboding, foreboding.
verboten questions.
So, I've got some negative coping behaviors.
Let's go. Let's
I'm like
go.
drinking too much alcohol and
Oh yeah.
I'm eating like
Oh yeah.
a lot. And that's not normal for me. Like normally I just kind of pick at food all
Yeah,
day.
it's
I
true.
am like stuffing my face. I've gained
Yes.
like 10 pounds in
Mm.
like 3 weeks, kind of
Uh,
like, and I don't know if it's because I'm like lonely and like,
Yeah.
depressed or like Mike's not cooking
Yeah.
or like, but it's like, I am like, it's like I'm bored. I don't know what like I'm anxious. Like, what am I trying to fill? Right now I'm filling it with food.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
weird.
I'm right there with you. And I mean, like, it is one of my main issues, like, is food. Like, I think so. I was talking to Beth about this earlier. That I have used weed for many years, and I am going to try to come off it for as long as I need to, maybe forever. I really don't know. But that's I kind of have a little that left over that I want to use up because if I have any in the house, I just will go back to it. Um,
You
and
gotta get
then
really high
you
and
know,
then be
high
done.
as fuck. Yeah. Uh, but like it has such a symbiotic relationship with food for me because food tastes so good when you're
It's
high.
so good. Oh my
It's
God.
such a problem.
Pretzels and Snickers. I think I've already talked about that. So good together.
But like
Great
it
combination.
is a good combo. I don't know if I've ever had that, but that sounds nice. I
Oh,
think, yeah.
so freaking good.
I like the idea of
Like I'm
that.
sure they're gonna make them now because I said this out loud.
Yeah.
Like there you go. There,
Like
that's what your food tasters need to do is just get really high and then like try all
that's
these little
true. That's true.
combinations.
Oh my God, dude, we need to combine this. Um, I like at the minute, me and I've talked about it before. Is like I make this, big bowl of popcorn, and I just like I barely stop for breath when I'm eating these things. It's just like shoveling it into my mouth. It's just mindless. It's not
Two
good, but like,
hands. You're like
but
eating over the bowl.
it's true. But like, see that like little hit you get, like that, especially with sugar, that just kind of picks you up and it's like, oh, everything's okay. It is. I. It is the thing that like the next thing that if the weight thing doesn't have.
How much can I ask how much like do you use it for sleep? Do you use it during the day?
No, I have in the past used it during the day whenever I was in my, the last job that I had just before I left, I would have like got high at lunchtime. And like
Yeah,
this was when I was working. I wouldn't have ever done that in work because I would have been too paranoid. But whenever I was
yeah,
working from home, I would just get high at lunch and just be high in the afternoon. It was a bad time. I mean, that was me coming to the realization that I was very unhappy there.
yeah.
Um,
You're like, I hate this job.
yeah, what am I doing? So
When I'm
like
getting high on my own supply.
exactly. So now I just have some in the evening. Like I have made like progress over the years with it. Like I used to, over here, a lot
Is
of
it
people's.
strong? Like here, we've talked about like just the melt your face food that
Yeah,
we have over here. Is it strong?
it is. And like it's got so much better. Like when I was a boy, it was absolute dog shit. It was like hash stuff. So it was stuff that had been processed into like little sort of bricks. And it was similar, but like it would give you like headaches and stuff. It wasn't good at all. It was poorly processed. So these days you actually can get actual herb, which is good and it makes a big difference. And yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah, you can get half decent stuff these days. Um, but like I have it in the evenings only, really. Occasionally in the afternoons, very occasionally. But like I normally try to like if I'm doing that, it's late in the afternoon, and I try to make sure I've done something else that day. I've done something productive, or I feel like an asshole. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I've also like because as I say we started smoking. I think I started talking about this. We smoke joints with tobacco a lot in this country. So like I moved away from that. I got like a little sort of vaporizer device that I really love, and it stopped the amount I was consuming and also stopped me using tobacco, which was huge. So I just have.
You roll a really good joint, I
Thank
will say.
you.
You do.
Years of practice.
Remember, I was like, let's have a joint roll off. And then I was like, I can't do
Andy, can you fix this one for me? Yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah. And I so yeah, so but basically I just have I fill one of those. It's a wee tiny amount, and I just kind of take a couple of hits off it in an evening, and ordinarily that does me. So it's not like I am bad, but I am also aware of, and it's happened recently because it was with a friend that like sometimes so I was just like having smoking with him and we were having a nice conversation about whatever, like a comics or something. It's a price. And I my brain immediately started thinking about an awkward thing, like an awkward event in a job that I had years ago and something that happened. And then I was like, oh my God, what do they think of me because of that? And then I was like, but I was able to pull myself back from it and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, I think that was, and I had already come to the conclusion that I needed to step away from it, but that this was really a exclamation mark in terms of, yeah, this is not, this makes your paranoia, the fear, it certainly has the potential to make that so much worse in a way that is not helpful at all. So I think I need to just take a break, maybe forever.
I totally get paranoid. I
Yeah.
get like super, and like I used to, they have, well, like here we have weed for all, like it's Tuesday. Here's the Tuesday we eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's calm, there's relax, there's
Yeah.
energize, there's you know, it's like anything. And these are all really bad examples.
No, but I understand what you're
Um,
saying. Yeah.
so you know, like what I'll have is it's called Zen. It has 20 milligrams of CBD for
Yeah.
pain, and then like 1 milligram of THC. So it's like so
Mellow.
it's
Yeah.
like enough to just like take a nap or
Yeah.
you know, but not that like paranoid feeling. And that's like I'm okay there. But like
Hmm.
when I was really having sleeping problems, I was taking like 15 milligrams.
Yeah.
So I don't even know, it's what, like 3 joints to
That is a
sleep.
lot.
I
Yeah.
know.
I like I think I don't think it helps me sleep. I think all too often it makes my mind kind of
Yeah.
race,
That's why I would Dark Side of the Moon. I would have
Yeah.
to listen to music in order to keep myself out of my own brain because I
It
would just get in there like a gopher
yeah,
and just like
yes.
dig out weird shit. And like
Yeah.
I'm mad about this job that I had 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And this
For
one, you know, conversation I had with this person and how upset I am about it. And it's like,
yes.
what the fuck? You reported him to HR. It's fine. He got fired. Ha ha. Right?
Yeah.
Like no one takes him seriously as a writer.
Yeah. But and I put this to
He
bed,
actually
but
might have died. And I'm
yeah.
kind of like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like and it's like but it's things that you're like, oh, I have definitely put this to bed. I have made my peace with it. I've moved on. And then sometimes, your brain comes along, have you? Are you sure?
What is that
No.
about? What
It's
is
right.
that about?
Oh,
And
it's
it's like weird.
maddening.
It's like it's like I could be solving other problems,
Yeah, exactly.
but I just need to not, it's like my brain wants a vacation, but not, it wants to go to like I don't want to name anywhere that's it wants to go to, you know, it wants to go to Hades instead,
Sure.
right?
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah. Ah,
I don't understand. I don't
no.
understand.
I totally hear you. Yeah. Yeah. It's a nightmare. But like so that's just just because you were talking about that, so that's the next step. I think if
So
this
it's not, you don't think it's serving you.
it's not serving me. I don't know. I don't know if it has it ever. I don't know. Like I still far prefer to drink. I really wish that it was legal because I really wish that I could then target specific stuff for me rather than because it's legal. It's just like you're just getting whatever is available really,
Yeah.
and it's not ideal in that regard. And like I think certainly my preferred form would be edibles and stuff, which is you have to like
Yeah.
extract it, do all the shit if you're going to do that over here. So it's a whole
Yeah.
fucking thing.
It's,
So
I'm not gonna lie, it's really great.
it is. And I think, maybe one day, I think we're still a ways away, but it would be nice. Um, but yes,
That could pay for healthcare.
yeah, that's just the thing. Oh, I know.
Mhm.
But like the other thing I was going to say was the next sort of frontier for me, the most terrifying one of things that I may have to give up is sugar. And it feels like my lifelong addiction.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm also on the sugar train. I got off of it
Hmm.
after Costa Rica when we went for yoga training. So in 2019, I was off of it, and then I was off of it after I got COVID. So I was off of sugar for 3 years.
Nice.
Hmm.
Did you feel
And this,
better
I
generally?
did. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it was, I, I was, um, after Costa Rica before COVID, yes.
Okay. Yes, of course.
So, and now I can't eat the gluten because I don't have celiac, but
The whole thing. Yeah.
the whole thing. I just get my body responds really poorly to it. So, but I wrote on a piece of paper all the things I'm like, I gotta eliminate like make sure I'm not eating gluten. I'm also going to eliminate sugar,
Nice.
uh, and dairy
Ooh, yeah.
because I have
Yeah.
to like get back down to a healthy weight so I'll feel better about myself.
hmm
And like the sugar, man, it's like I think that's part of the reason that I'm like overeating.
Yeah. That fucking hit from sugar. Whoa.
Uh-huh.
I like it is so small, but
So if you had to
it's
pick weed or sugar, would you pick sugar?
100%.
Uh-huh.
But it's not even a question for me. Like I it is, and I mean, like it is such a. I mean, I think we have talked about this a little bit before as well. But like, whenever as a kid growing up, it was everywhere. You know, it was like you would go and see your granny, and it was like, yeah, here's some
Yeah,
sugar, here's a wee
yes.
treat. You
Ours
know,
was the Werther's Originals in a
yeah,
bowl. And I was always
yes,
like, I guess I'll have that. It's not
yeah.
my choice, but I'll have 30 of
No, I
them.
mean, like, yeah, the sugar there, I'm gonna get it. So, but like, and I think it's got better. Like, I think kids, certainly some of the kids I've encountered these days I remember like my cousin's son was around here before, and it's years back, and he was still like under 10 at least anyway. And I was like, "Do you want some meat?" And he goes, "Yeah, do you have any fruit?" And I'm like, "Fruit?" I'm like, "I do have fruit," but like, wow, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. I thought that was, I just was not a response I was expecting, but kind of pleased me, because that would not have been right. My response as a kid, it would have been like, give me some crisps, give me some sugar,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
you have.
Can you eliminate fruit and well, no.
I,
So if you eliminate sugar, can you eat fruit?
I if I do it, I will be doing it in terms of refined sugar. So naturally occurring sugars, I'll be okay with. Is how I think I will approach it because I think that would be a nightmare if I was also to avoid fruit as well. That would be, and it would probably be
Yeah.
bad for my health if I was to
You'd
do
get
that.
scurvy
Yeah.
or
Yes. And
okay.
as fun as that would be.
Yeah. So I'm as of today, I'm stopping the sugar. So if you
Oh,
want to
okay.
hop on I'm not going to push you to do all the things at once, but I will let you know how it goes.
Please do. I want to try the way it's going to take most of my willpower for the next wee while. So that's the first hurdle, and
Uh,
then we'll see how we go from there. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I can see it having knock-on effects. Like I can see it helping my um like my overeating, because like the weight's so tied with that, so it'll probably be better for me in a lot of ways. But I think the first week or two is going to be rough. So
hmm. And I like for me, like I'll have like it'll be in the late afternoon, evening, and I'll be like, I'll just have a glass of wine. Like, oh,
yeah,
I'll just have another glass. I'll just have one. And I'm on these medications where like I don't really feel it.
yeah,
And so I like overindulge there without
yeah.
meaning to, and not really having like the same response that you would after having, 2 or 3 glasses of wine. And I know that's not healthy for my body, but sometimes I'm like, I just feel like shit anyway. Like, why not? Why not?
Yep.
But I
Uh,
know it's wrong. I know it's having an ill effect on my body. But it's like, so in California, they have, it's actually, I think, owned by Gwyneth Paltrow.
mhm,
It's called Can, and it's
mhm.
actually like flavored waters with a certain amount of THC in it.
Yes. Mhm.
And so like 12 pack is like $70 US, right? But I was like, maybe I'll try this instead of alcohol and see if that like is something that I can just kind of like have one of those in the evenings
Could we
and
look?
see
Could we look
how
into
that
some Bendy branded THC water? Do you think?
maybe. Gwyneth Paltrow, can
Gwyneth,
please sponsor us.
Gwyneth,
Send me
Goop.
a free package
What
of
is it? What's her?
$70.
Isn't it Goop her thing? So
Mhm,
Goop X
mhm.
Bendy, a crossover event. Yeah.
Well, like
Okay.
no one knows she's got invested in all these, but
It's
she's
true.
yeah, so but I may order that for
Yeah.
myself this week.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big good way to win yourself off it. But yeah. But
Yeah.
good luck. Good luck
So yeah,
nonetheless.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get on the weed and you're gonna get off of it. But
Yeah. We'll see how we go. And I can live vicariously through you. Yeah. Because like, Beth, how's it? How's it hitting?
I just want to find a can of it
Yeah.
and not buy the whole thing, but
Yeah.
it's like
That's
I
not how
live in
they
the middle of
operate.
nowhere. No.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 or 3 weed
Yeah.
stores
Yeah.
within like a mile of my
Oh
house.
no, how awful. What a terrible situation.
I know it's terrible.
Wow. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to get to before we start wrapping things up?
I just kind of like I wrote down like how can I be kinder to myself in this moment? And then my answer to that was just like being here and having this hard conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll second that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good way to wrap things or end
Wrap.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrap up this topic. But yeah, like, and I think as we said throughout this episode, like, if you have any thoughts or, anything you want to reach out to on this or any thoughts in any of this, or, your own stuff, whatever, we'd be happy to hear them.
We're like the
Um,
Ghostbusters. We're here to believe you.
yes, we are. Yeah, yeah. And that's it. That's where we draw the line.
That's
We
where we draw the line.
we believe you, and that's it. That's where our help ends. But hey, that's still helpful, right? Yeah. So
I
yeah.
did write down one other thing
Hmm.
because I was like, just be honest, Beth. Like, what brings me joy and how can I incorporate more of it into my life? And I wrote down using the Roomba and having clean floors.
I love it. That's
So,
yeah. Like
yeah, that's where I'm at.
and so you need to find ways to like sort of increase that. So like maybe like get your Roomba some costumes and things like that.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's the way
Like
to
the
do it.
cat riding the Roomba. There
Yeah,
was that
that's
with the shark outfit that I watch that sometimes when I want to laugh.
how does Star feel about the Roomba?
She hates it. They
Hits
all
it.
the animals hate it. They hate it. They hate it. And I want to run it 24 hours a
Yeah,
day because
yeah,
it
yeah.
make for my own pleasure and amusement because I just like to watch it.
Sure.
Uh, but yeah. Do
I
you want
love
to
it.
talk about joy or gratitude
Yeah,
or
yeah.
wishes or
Um, I will, yeah, let's talk about joy. Yeah, so what's been bringing me joy this week is I've been catching up in movies that I've been meaning to watch. So I watched May December, which was great, but harrowing. I don't know that I'd recommend it necessarily,
I
but it's
watched
a
it?
very interesting movie.
Yes.
But I think definitely if you're a fan of just movies and interesting narratives, it's one to check out. Very
Yeah.
cool. But the one that I saw recently that I loved and resonated so much with me was American Fiction.
I watched it too. So I've been trying to like catch up on the
Oh,
Oscars movies.
yes, so good.
Oh, oh, it was good.
And it was
It
so
was
and
good.
like there was a few things, and I was texting one of my friends, another friend who will text you about mental health stuff, and like we were talking about how much Monk's character resonated with us. So like essentially, if you don't know what it is a movie that came out recently, was in awards contention about is it Jeffrey Wright or
Yeah,
can't remember his name, Jeffrey something. He's been you'd absolutely recognize him. He's been in loads of stuff, and he is an author who writes these kind of highbrow books that don't really seem to go anywhere. And he decides, as like an act of rebellion, to write this book, this sort of what he considers to be a trashy book, and it gets this incredible success. And it's just about his life, that and how it affects his life and his like family life and things like that. But
it
it's
is it is Jeffrey Wright.
different.
Jeffrey Wright is from Brooklyn. He is not only is the movie amazing and he's amazing in it and he's
Mm.
an amazing actor, he's an amazing human being.
Hmm.
So like during COVID, when everything shut down and all the restaurants shut down, I think it was like him and Rosie Perez.
Hmm.
They were like, we gotta like keep Brooklyn going. And so they were the ones that created like the whole like food delivery from restaurants to keep restaurants, going.
Nice.
So you could actually order whatever from, whatever restaurant you loved from down the street. And
Hmm.
that way people were able to, be couriers and, open the kitchens back up. And so that was all Jeffrey Wright and his peeps in Brooklyn.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there are like other stories about Jeffrey Wright just being like amazing.
He seems like a nice
So
man. He does have nice man energy.
yeah.
And anything I've
Yes.
seen about him, he just seems like a
Yes.
cool, self-assured dude, and I respect that a lot. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know whether you found it. There was so much that resonated with me in that movie. Like I say, me and my friend really kind of resonated with Monk a lot, his character. But like so many lines, and the line that really stuck with me was whenever his brother said, "You've got to learn how to let people love you." I think is that it? Or you got to let people love you. And like he just does a whole speech about like in the movie they're kind of and this happens before the movie, but their father kind of died and his brother kind of came out as gay and he kind of wishes his father had known all of him. And he says, what if he rejected you? And he goes, well, at least he would have rejected the real me. And it was just such a really nice. And then he basically said that he uses that an example to say to his brother, like, be all of you, you know what I mean, and put that out into the world. And I thought that was it really resonated with me a lot. But it was a great movie that meant a lot to me.
You're doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
You are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Definitely stuck her tongue out of me. You're fired. You're fired from
I
the
know.
podcast, man.
I know. You
What
can't.
I joke, I don't have that sort of power. If only. Um, so Beth, what's been bringing you joy this week?
Um,
Were you gonna say writing fiction?
no, actually, I've been making the kids watch movies that I love. So we watched
Nice.
Yentl.
Ooh,
Uh,
uh-huh.
yeah. And then I was like, I don't know if they're ready for Amadeus, but I was like, I am. And so we watched Amadeus and they were both floored. And it's like one of my favorite soundtracks to any movie ever, obviously. It's just amazing. And
I don't
like,
know that I've ever seen it, I know, I know. I'm just gonna write it down now because I need to.
oh
Uh-huh.
my God. Okay. Oh my God.
Okay.
I think, yeah,
It's something I've always
highly.
been curious about, so yeah, I really need to make an effort. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
It's a great, it's not, the story isn't entirely true. Um, and I won't go into like which parts are not, but but
uh,
it's so good. And the kids really loved it to the point where I still have all my CDs and I got this kid CD players. Because we're like as analog as possible. And I was like, she was like, gosh, I wish I could have this on CD. And I was like, I have it from like when I bought it from Columbia,
I
from
love it.
Columbia House. So yeah, so we got that. And
Um,
she's like, Mama, I've been listening to Amadeus like every day. And I'm like, yes.
Amazing.
So
That's great.
yeah.
Um, I also wanted to ask you because you mentioned Gentle. How's that autobiography going down? Smooth.
Well, I
You
had to
moved
get
to
rid of
Audible, didn't you? Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So it's still, I'm, probably only 1,500 pages in, so I've still got a long way to go. But like, it's so interesting. And she's
Oh,
just so like, again, she's from Brooklyn. She's so Brooklyn. My dad was born in Brooklyn.
uh-huh.
I love East Coast Brooklyn people. Just they remind
Yeah.
me of my dad. So it's, you know, and also just, it's go I took a walk this morning and listened to Babs
I love
talk
it.
about, you know, all of the people that made up like stories about her, like starting off, and like, oh, we had a love affair. And she's like, no, we didn't. And this person, so she's in all these books, and all these people have
Oh,
said things
interesting.
about her. And she's like, no, here's the guy, that I had sex with the first time, if you must know. And like, I'm not going to tell you what happened. Use your
I
imagination.
love it.
And it's so it's yeah, I would recommend not getting the book because you'll get carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or you get like
But that
a divot, permanent divot in your chest if you're reading it in
seriously, you
bed.
need
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, or tech neck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's good to hear her voice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
So
nice.
yeah,
The-
yeah,
I have just one other thing because we were talking about it last week, which is
yeah.
Princess Bride, which I'm about halfway through now.
Yeah,
Um,
I was
so
hoping you'd
like
talk about it.
so so here's the thing, and we talked about it last week, and I was like, "Oh, Beth, I've got the version where William Goldman's writing all the stuff in it." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah," and I'm like, and then I was like, I was reading it again, I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, "Hold on a second here," and I was like, "This is just a framework. This is just a narrative device," which I kind of saw. I didn't really at first because I was like, God, there was a whole there was like many pages of a prologue, and he like really talks shit about his own son. And I was like, this is a bit odd. This is a bit odd. Okay, I don't know if I like this guy. But I'm like, okay, the book's good. But then I was like, oh, hold on. Just something he said in particular, it just clicked my brain back in. I was like, no, this is all him. This is all a narrative device. The original text that he talks about does not exist.
No,
And I was like, okay,
there is no
I
S.
love no.
Morgenstern. Yeah,
And I'm like, I love this even more now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but
It's got so many layers.
it really does, but it then led me down a rabbit hole of like all these people who kind of do think it exists, and there is actually I don't know. almost certainly not legitimate have written an S. Morgenstern version of the book and things like that. So yeah, it's you know,
I'm
as
gonna Google this when we get off of
yeah,
here.
it's nuts. Like there, and I mean, who I think it might just be somebody has done it off their own bat, but it was on Amazon, the like S. Morgenstern version of it. Yeah, and like, but
What?
somebody has just backed their way into it. They're hoping to like trick people into going, oh, I must find the original version. I would be my guess anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down once you kind of see what's going on. But it's
These
I,
jerks.
an excellent book, though. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm really loving it.
Yeah, I don't really, I mean, other it yeah, I don't have a lot of good books to recommend generally to people.
Mm,
And also like I'll recommend a book and like no one ever reads it, so you're
yeah,
actually reading it. So
good, good,
everyone
good, good.
reads The Princess
Yeah,
Bride.
it's
Even
not
if
that
even
big.
even if I get one person and it's Andy.
This guy,
Yeah. Who has
uh,
two thumbs?
that's your boy. Uh, so yeah, it's an excellent book. If you're, because I just love unconventional narratives, and this has it in spades. So it's definitely worth a look.
I thought just reading the End of the Woods book, I was like, oh, Andy's really gonna like
Yeah,
this very different framework.
and it's like I love the framework, and also he's such a good writer. He's so engaging. The characters are wonderful. Like he just like yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm not going to spoil the book, but read it if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
at all interested in it. It's very, very
And
good.
don't get the S. Morgenstern version because
No,
S.
don't.
Morgenstern is a fictional
Hey,
character
yes.
who
You're
we're pretending like who William Goldman is pretending actually wrote The Princess Bride,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
not
yeah,
true
yeah,
when
yeah.
William Goldman did. So yeah.
Yeah, you're just
So yeah. I'm not gonna do, I decided, and I didn't tell Andy this, but I'm not gonna do like the generic outro where I'm like, thank you for listening to Bendy, blah, blah,
uh-huh.
blah. I'm just gonna be like, peeps, go to our website, bendypodcast.com for all of the videos and YouTubes and all
Uh-huh.
the fun things and pictures that we put up. So you can find us there. Follow us on the socials there. Everything is on bendypodcast.com. Please
Yeah,
join us
please do.
there and all the other places that we exist, so that we can be
Well,
there on all the platforms that you need
yeah.
us on.
We very, very much appreciate it. So thank you so much.
We
And
really
always,
do.
we really, really do. But yeah, oh, I have run out of water. And so
Oh.
this is going to be an extra raspy stay bandy. So yeah, so you've got that to look forward to, folks. But I think that's everything, isn't it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
okay. So yeah, thank you for joining us as always, folks. And we would like to remind you to stay Fendi.
Bendy.
Oh, nice. Even with my
I'm gonna
raspy
get you
voice.
a
Help.
bigger cup.
Thank you.
Bye,
All right, bye, folks. We love
bye,
you.
bye,
Bye bye.
bye. Love you. Bye. That was good.
That was good.
Okay. Do you feel better?